Hi, Bill Henshaw here again, your walking constitution out here in the Bay Area. And I'm here to update you on a lot of things going on as we get towards the end of the summer. And it's mostly good news, especially from the U.S. Supreme Court, who has continued over the last year and a half to act more and more like me and sound exactly like I would in deciding cases. It's especially true with the Dobbs case, the overturned Roe v. Wade, which it didn't do. Roe v. Wade never existed, and other cases, Liu versus SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission. They reined in the SEC, and in a way where it would apply across the board. Doesn't matter where we are. It's the SEC. I get that, but think traffic court here, child procurement services, unlawful detainer, mortgage banksters. I mean, there's all a lot of common issues that arise in these settings, and we'll get the same rulings when we get there. We'd have to because the whole system is so corrupt and crooked, and you know it. You just don't know why. To learn details about that, send me an email, uwinandcourt@gmail.com, and you're going to learn a lot of what you should have learned back in your school days in the mandatory public education system. I didn't learn either all those years ago, but I have now, and I want to share it with you and help to make our lives better, your children's lives and our posterity. That's the main focus of all the work I do. So the money is going to be pretty good, but it's that focus and that perspective. And if you have that, that makes you virtually impossible to beat, even in their corrupt courts. So it's good news all the way around. And in that regard, by the way, back to the Supreme Court, the U.S. v. Madero, that they just decided this term, a territorial case, and that's that old arcane law. Nobody knows about that. Happens to be an area of expertise for me. And when they did this case, they sounded exactly like me from exactly the same reference source I use. And this one was 8-1, not 5-4. They understand what's going on here with the crown jewel of all of the unopposed issues I have. We have no states, not sovereign independent states admitted into this union. We don't have any of those. They're at best federal insular territorial possessions in which the government thinks that its victims don't have any rights whatsoever. And that's the big deal. How do we get from a sovereign independent state to an insular territory and maybe worse than that? You will learn all about that. Send me an email, uwinandcourt@gmail.com, to see how we got from A to B to C to D and how we can undo it. We still can, with the court acting like an Article 3 judicial court, first time in 90 odd years. We have an unprecedented window of opportunity to act here. And you can get involved and teach your children, and they can teach their children. So you don't have to be dependent on the public schools to do anything. You do it yourself and get it right the first time. That's also what I'm known for. I very rarely make a mistake. Like all of us, I do, but it very rarely happens in this area because I know it cold. And that's the great part. And going into my actually 75th year now, life is still ahead of me. That's how good it is. And I hope I get across the Red Sea with you to fix this problem. Family history being what it is, I have maybe 8 to 10 years. We don't know. And I'm thankful for my good health every day. Wow, that makes a big difference. But it's exciting. It'll change your life. And it doesn't matter, whether it's an eviction or whether it's a mortgage case or whatever. The issues are the same, just different settings. And we're dealing with corporate entities. And think about that a minute. Corporations are created by our agents in state capitals. They're agents of our agents. And yet they think they have the power to inflict contracts of adhesion on us, where they have all the power and we don't have any. Now, that can't possibly be right, Ken. And any of you that know about the original intent, where would that come up? It doesn't. We have to change status. You'll learn all about that too. Send me an email, uwinandcourt@gmail.com. But the bottom line here is not only are they contracts of adhesion and they don't make any full disclosure of the terms to you when you sign on, as it were, especially with mortgages and CPS and things like that. And that's an affirmative defense in any common law court. So it gets really good really quick. So we have that. And then since they're corporations, they're not registered to do business, for example, in the state of California, where I am. I have a domicile in a judicial district in the state of California. If they're registered at all, it's to do business in the territory of California. Two different jurisdictions that never meet. That's how good this is. So send me an email for information, uwinnincourt@gmail.com, for my modestly priced constitutional defense document packets. And then get out there and tell your friends, like the video, subscribe, and we can get out there and end this divide and conquer crap they've been doing against us for 150 years, if not longer than that, and finally get somewhere in restoring our federative government of defined and limited powers in our Republican form of government in sovereign, independent states. That's the best news you're possibly ever going to hear. If we get that job done, now the power goes back to the county seat, not Sacramento or Washington, D.C. or wherever. So it's not perfect, but boy, is it a hell of a lot better. And that's a goal well worth taking seriously and acting on. So please do that, subscribe, tell your friends, like the video. And as soon as we take action, the sooner we do it, especially en masse, the quicker we get these bastards off our backs. Thank you.